Is Han4 still relevant now that Set 5 has released? Today we're going to be testing this deck against 3 separate decks on Karabast. We'll do a quick overview and then give a verdict. So here's a quick snapshot of the deck. The only Set 5 card in this deck is the new Qui-Gon Jinn Legendary, and we have 2 of them. Starting off with our match against Piett Red. In this matchup, we're going to be looking for that overwhelming barrage and planetary bombardment, so we need to close it out pretty quickly. We're going to mulligan. And actually, with this deck, we're going to mulligan anytime we don't see C-3PO in our starting hand. Didn't pull it on this, but that's okay. Going to resource Qui-Gon. And nothing to exhaust, so we're not expecting anything to exhaust. So we're going to go ahead and resource Mandalorian as well. And there's the C-3PO we're looking for. We're going to resource Tantive 5 and use Han's ability to look at the top card. We'll attack with Greedo, get the extra 1 point of damage. And we're going to go ahead and drop Millennium Falcon. No need to keep that extra C-3PO, so we're going to resource that. And we'll lead by pushing damage with Greedo before they take it out with their Super Laser Technician. Alright, so we're going to play one of our pilots and this turn. We may try to play 2. We don't have any hard removal. But next turn is our 5 resource drop, and we don't have another ship. So I think we're going to play C-3PO. They drop Piett. We're going to drop C-3PO and draw that Sanctioner Shuttle. Alright. MC Assault Frigate's out, so we should assume on their 6 resource turn they have a planetary bombardment. Don't need 3 of the same Millennium Falcon, so we're going to resource one of those. And we're going to go ahead and push damage with Millennium Falcon. They use Overwhelming Barrage instead of attacking the Falcon to clear the board. But we are 19 points of damage ahead of them at this point with an extra 4 points of buffer. Still feeling pretty good. Play Millennium Falcon again to bait them to attack versus pushing damage to our base. And we're going to deploy Han to ground. Again, pushing damage to their base as fast as possible. Here we're going to resource the extra Boshik. And there's the planetary bombardment. Since it's our turn, we're going to absorb as much of that on Han as we can, and then push 3 more damage to their base. They'll take out Han with Piett. And we're going to play 2 3-cost units. add R2 to that Sanctioner shuttle. We don't have initiative, so they could still clear us with an overwhelming barrage. Well, they can't completely clear us with an overwhelming barrage, but there's the planetary bombardment. I actually think that was a mistake if they had a barrage. Well, either way, we can absorb the damage to our base, and there we go. That's the end. That marks win 1 for Han4. Our next matchup is against Boba Fett Data Vaults. So we're going to be looking for those same events, overwhelming barrage and planetary bombardment. And again, going to try to close this out pretty quickly. Both our jam communications and confiscate could be useful in this deck. We want to eliminate those events if they have them, and we may need to confiscate Boba Fett to pull him off of a ship. All right. They're attacking with first order stormtrooper to get that indirect damage. That gives us an opportunity, though, to clear first order stormtrooper and keep 2 damage off of our base. So that trade's worth it. And then we'll take that extra indirect damage on the base to keep C-3PO alive for 1 more turn. Okay. 2 Waylays and 2 Dagger Squadron pilots. We can drop 2 pilots on Falcon, so we may resource the Waylay here. Alright, at this point they may be feeling pretty good. They have 8 damage on our base, 5 resources to spend, and no overwhelming barrage in their hand or planetary bombardment. So they're probably feeling pretty good. We're going to drop our Dagger Squadron pilot. Going to drop our second Dagger Squadron pilot and use Han's ability to hit for 10 damage with 1 swing. Not bad for turn 3. Okay, this is a tricky resource because I want to keep both those events, but I also need to be able to play a higher cost card. This is our flip turn for Han, and I have no ship to put him on. So we're not going to be able to use his main ability. Banking on being able to waylay whatever ship they drop, we're assuming they're going to drop that Ruthless Raider that they had in their hand last turn. But we'll see. Alright, we'll use Han's ability. No extra damage to be done, so we'll push 9 damage to their base. There's the Ruthless Raider. And they're going to do 4 damage, so they can take out that Falcon. So at this point, we drop R2 onto the Falcon to keep them from taking it out when they deploy Boba Fett. Maybe not the right call here. Probably should have waylaid Ruthless Raider and then done that to prevent the 4 damage this turn. All right. And we don't want them to be able to take out Millennium Falcon, so we're going to claim initiative. I'm going to swing into their base for 11 damage. They overwhelming barrage, so they're going to clear our board again. And we're going to try, but no, didn't discard an event, so their Stormtrooper is still up. 3 damage to go, and a buffer of 20 points. So we ambush with Han so that we have the ability to do damage on the board. They play Daring Raid to take out Han, but there we go. Deploy our leader, and that's going to be the 3 damage that we need to close this one out. All right, last match is against Asajj. Again, Data Vault. We're going to have more removal in this deck to deal with. We'll see how we do against this deck. We're not going to want to stack Millennium Falcon in the same way that we did against that red-green deck. And we got the C-3PO. So we can start off by drawing an extra card. That's always a nice start to the round. And one more card to draw. We're going to draw Mando. All right, it's always a fun match when you get 2 Millennium Falcons going, and that lets us drop R2 to get the buff on our second Falcon out there. All right, resourcing Bow Sheik as we have 2, but we are going to want that card draw. especially headed into our turn 4 5 resource flip. I'd like to get Han out onto a vehicle. Alright, 1 resource, so we need to attack with one of the Falcons. We're going to go ahead and do that one as we can buff up our other Falcon even more. Alright, I'm going to play Boshik to bring the Falcon to a 7/7. They power the dark side. Clearly we're going to choose the less powerful exhausted Falcon. And they have 1 resource left, which means we're pretty safe here. We're going to drop 2 resources just to clear those out before we drop Han. We'll play Dagger Squadron Pilot to the ground. And then we will deploy Han onto the Millennium Falcon. Oh, they're going to take out Greedo. That's okay. Deploy Han as a pilot, making the Falcon an 11/11. Now, they may have a no glory only result, so we may lose this unit next turn. But swinging for 11 points on turn 4 is not bad. Now, here's a fun one. We get all those resources back. So instead of pushing damage now, we're going to go ahead and use Plo Koon's Coordinate Ambush ability and take out their leader before she can attack. At this point, we're feeling a little more confident. Obviously, they can take out Plo Koon next turn, Dagger Squadron Pilot, or use removal. So, don't know how this next turn is going to go. We're going to have 6 resources to spend. Let's see. Oh, and they come in with the Snoke. So they clear the ground, but Falcon still has 11 damage to do. And there it is. That's the game. So the verdict is this deck still relevant in a world where force throws out there. We didn't see a lot of force throw, but is this still relevant during set 5? Verdict is this deck's a 4 out of 5s. Like Obi-Wan in A New Hope, this deck is mostly on point, but may occasionally neglect to tell you that your father is the Dark Lord. And that's it for today. Please comment down below what other decks would you like to see this deck tested against, and consider subscribing.